And I got you your favorite ice cream. Look at that. Yeah. You still mad? You know what, babe? You want to get married? Let's get married. Yeah, no, I'm playing. I'm playing. Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared. Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared. Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm
You better be careful, man. Shit, boy. Hey, baby. Hi. How you doing, man? Hi.
finally found your apartment today after being together for more than 4 years. So I decided to make her a cake. And since you finally bought it, this is so funny. Happy first birthday to you. Happy first birthday to you. Happy first birthday. Excuse me, do you mind if I get in? Do you have a choice? Hi, my name is Thomas. Nice to meet you.
Hello, sir. Would you like some water? Hello again. Would you like some water?
Sir, thank you.
Here.
Oh, you incompetent imbecile!
I am so sorry.
I knew he was going to be in trouble the second I saw him walk in. This is ridiculous. Nobody should have to sit next to this. Ma'am! Excuse me, you're ruining the whole experience. A new seat immediately.
I'm so sorry. Can I have you?
No. Clearly, you are not smart enough to do anything right.
Anything your wild child does, Campers Cruiser's 360 Fit can too. With a stretchy waistband and adaptive 360 Fit, so they can move the way they were born to. Campers Cruiser's 360 Fit.
He states that the Holy War would still be approaching, but he has a new view into the future, as he saw 3 heroes fighting against a mountain giant in Camelot. As the group discusses Barker's warning, they sense a large earthquake that was coming from the east. Meliodas knows the origin of the power and was in a state of shock and anger. The next day, Elizabeth runs towards the boar hat wearing a new waitress outfit. She asks Meliodas if she could work in the boar hat since the Sins were going to Camelot on a mission by Barker's orders. However, Meliodas refuses to take her in as her father would be mad for letting her work as a waitress, but she told him that she doesn't care and wants to run the bar together with Meliodas as they promised. He states that he didn't make a promise to her, and since they saved the kingdom, there's no need for Elizabeth to work. When she questions Meliodas for being so aloof towards her, he starts to harass her in the usual way to prove that he's not being to walk them to tie Meliodas up. When Meliodas goes to Merlin's house, he comes across Gother, telling him to get ready for the mission in Camelot. The Sin of Lust, though, refuses to Meliodas' surprise and goes on his date with Gila. Meliodas doesn't understand as he's never seen the two of them together. Albion arc. When everyone exits Merlin's home, Meliodas enters demanding to know what happened 10 years ago and wants something that was stolen from him. Merlin reveals that she knows that the demon clan was set. He states that the Holy War would still be approaching around the city to find the cause of the anomaly. Meliodas' response is that Hendrickson committed a sin for abandoning his friends to protect his powers and unleashes giant arm, Meliodas' sword, but shrunk into a smaller size. But this still brings a lot of joy. Makes the tiny pig very happy and feels to be alright as they search around the city to find the Gother, telling him to get by Gother. Camelot devoured the giant. Most, though, are the ones who were set free, as he believes that they were the 10 Commandments, who were handpicked by the Demon King himself. Since it's Merlin's home, Meliodas enters demanding to know what happened 10 years ago and wants something that was stolen from him. Merlin reveals that she knows that the Demon Clan was set free and believes Hendrickson is still alive. Meliodas is not stirred by the belief that Hendrickson is still alive, though. What worries him the most, though, are the ones who were set free, as he believes that they were the 10 Commandments, who were handpicked by the Demon King himself. Merlin gets a bit exhausted as the items in her room fly around. Suddenly, Merlin and Meliodas are struck by Gother's blackout technique that knocks out everyone in the capital, except for Deanne, who is believed to be affected as well. But later on, they're revealed to be alright as they search around the city to find the cause of the anomaly. There they find Elizabeth regaining consciousness, and then the aftermath of the and scuffle has been settled down, with Gother returning Keel's old memories, as well as Zeal, including the breakup of their relationship. Meliodas and the others return to the bar where Slater at least joins them for a while, and Elizabeth wants to join, but Meliodas shuts her down coldly to avoid her getting hurt by the Ten Commandments to the displeasure of others. However, Merlin gets a call from Arthur, who is under attack from an Albion, and is teleported to Camelot to battle the giants. As the Knights of Camelot battle the demon's giant golem Albion, Meliodas and others aid them while fighting the beast. While Meliodas leads Arthur and his men on the giant arm, Meliodas' sword, Liz's sword is destroyed during the battle. While Merlin still refuses to return what she stole from him, she's willing to return his sacred treasure, Lost Vein, which he uses to split himself into several copies and easily destroy the golem with full counter. While some part of the kingdom is destroyed, Arthur thanks Meliodas and the others for their help, while Elizabeth feels sorry for Meliodas having his sword broken, as it was a great treasure to him. But Meliodas reveals that he's fine with it and felt that both Liz and Elizabeth had been looking out for him for a long time. While the group chats fondly, Galen of the Ten Commandments appears and challenges everyone to a fight. Meliodas is shocked to see him, as Galen reveals that he knows Meliodas and was surprised that he hadn't aged in the last 3,000 years, but he still attacks him. While the Deadly Sins fight bravely and Meliodas even uses his demonic power, they still lose and are believed to be killed by Galen, which is revealed to be Invasion by Gother. Istar arc. Meliodas later has a nightmare where he loses Liz again and wakes up facing Elizabeth, who's in tears from worrying about him. Elizabeth then takes Meliodas to where the others are healing, and they're all sad about losing to Galen. However, Meliodas soon lifts everyone's spirits, stating that they have to train more to get stronger, and as a strategy, Arthur and Elizabeth would have to awake their hidden powers as well. Meliodas believes that the situation was so bad they have to bring in Escanor. Later, he checks up on Deanne's health with King. It's revealed then that she seems to have lost all of her memories up to the point of meeting Meliodas for the first time. While Meliodas and the others talk about Deanne's lost memories, King keeps Diane company until she starts to lose more memories and runs off. Gother soon reveals that he used Lost World on her to test if her feelings for King were stronger than she said, provoking King to punch Gother. The others follow Deanne, who is heading to Megadozer, until they're stopped by Monsmeat's fireball, which Hawk Mama eats to the others' surprise. While they couldn't sense Deanne's power level anymore, Meliodas believes that she's fine and should focus on their training until they meet Deanne again. Meliodas decides the first thing to do is head to Istar, the home of the Druids and the location of Meliodas' strength. While the Boar Hat travels to Istar, Merlin reveals that the reason for her to steal Meliodas' power was that he couldn't control his emotions very well and nearly destroyed Leonis when a young girl got herself injured during the framing 10 years ago, possibly being Elizabeth. Merlin then somehow stole Meliodas' strength and gave it to the Druids for safekeeping. Once they travel there, they're greeted by the head of the Druids, Jenna and Zaneri, along with their bodyguard Theo. When they request them for training in Meliodas' strength, they agree to help out while Zaneri leads Meliodas and Elizabeth inside the castle to test them. Zaneri soon reveals to have feelings for Meliodas as she wants him to grow her and seems jealous of Elizabeth, while Meliodas shows no interest in her. Zaneri then tests Meliodas' strength by sending him through memory lane to the day Danafor was destroyed to see if he could control his emotion when Liz died. However, Meliodas repeated the day so many times he soon started to lose it until he was inspired by Elizabeth and tried it once more, passing the test to Zaneri's surprise. Meliodas soon goes to the training ground where the others are training and pairs off with King. However, once inside, King starts to fight him instead of the Amber that they were supposed to choose. King starts to question Meliodas' motivation and that if he was ever on their side, which Meliodas refuses to answer, as he believes King wouldn't believe him anyway. After much battling, the two come to an agreement to work together while King keeps an eye on him. Once out of the training cave, Jenna gives back Meliodas' strength, which can be sensed by the Ten Commandments from afar. Meliodas soon requests Merlin to teleport them to the Ten Commandments location to retrieve them with Payback and Galen, which she did, but only for 10 seconds. Meliodas uses these 10 seconds to utterly defeat Galen and sends his greeting to Zeldris. Zeldris and Rodford, of course, attempt to attack him, only for him to be teleported away before they connect. After returning and revealing to everyone that he made the commandments spread around the land, they soon scold Meliodas for making them angry and causing havoc. However, Meliodas soon reveals that he made them split up for them to be easier to take out than fighting them in a whole group, which calms everybody down. But King remains uneasy with Meliodas' decision. Meliodas checks on the others' group training, which Arthur's got his whole thing going on, and Griamor's a child again. Meliodas then sees Hawk's new form, which he was stunned at, but ignores him and soon asks Zaneri how Elizabeth is doing in her trials. Elizabeth returns to the group to see how their training's going. She also gets a new outfit for battle, as Zaneri believes it would be easier for her to move, and Meliodas, of course, enjoys the outfit and pokes Hauser's eye for ogling Elizabeth, hinting at a jealous side. Meliodas Meliodas asks Elizabeth how her training is going. She responds that she failed to everyone's surprise. After everyone's training, the Deadly Sins decide to head out and stop the Ten Commandments and find Escanor. Before heading out, Meliodas cheers up Elizabeth for failing her trial by saying it's okay to fail, as he failed the trials 1,000 times and knows that Elizabeth has some crazy power hidden. This quickly cheers up Elizabeth, and she promises to be of help to them, and soon restores their relationship. While traveling, Meliodas asks how Gilthunder and Hauser's training was, and they notice that they got stronger to Gilthunder's joy. Meliodas soon gets around to ask Hawk what happened to him while training, which Hawk revealed that he got eaten by a tyrant dragon while being paired up with Oslo. But Hawk soon ate his way through the dragon's stomach and somehow gained its abilities, even though they're a weaker version of them. Hawk soon gets a read on Meliodas himself and is shocked to find out that Meliodas' power level increased to 32,500 and is stunned to find out that Escanor is far stronger than Meliodas. But Meliodas soon reveals that despite getting his power back, he needs to train along the way to get stronger as he's become pretty rusty.
Before, we got started with a key, then a button. Now, see, it's on.
You won't know a world before electric. The all-new, all-electric Volkswagen ID4.
Raven's Arc. After the activation of Melaskiel's magic, Meliodas and King discuss the latter's temporary departure from the Sins, to which the former asks if it were to look for Deanne. Before King's departure, he questions how all of the people there can be so loyal to Meliodas when he's clearly untrustworthy. Yet Meliodas remains calm and says nothing. Elizabeth attempts to persuade King to no avail. He leaves, and Meliodas tells him if something happens to give him a call. The sudden disappearance of Bond's power causes Meliodas to knock over a bottle of beer while cleaning the bar. He mutters Bond's name, unaware of the events taking place miles away. Great Fight Festival Arc. Meliodas knocks down a bunch of earth crawlers while meeting back with Arthur. When he cooks their meat, it tastes horrible, and he decides to save the scraps for Hawk. Later, Meliodas and Arthur meet with Bond, who immediately have an arm wrestling match, which Bond wins easily. Meliodas forgives Bond, who's still relatively depressed about having tried to kill him back in Leonis, and invites him to come along to search for Elizabeth and the others. After the duo makes amends with one another, Meliodas is able to sense that Elizabeth is on the other side of a large wall, with the two both noting that he would reach her soon. Bond and Meliodas both release respectively powerful attacks, resulting in the structure between himself and Elizabeth's group being destroyed, but an entire open path to the other contestants and the hosts themselves. After Gloxinia fatally wounds Escanor and quickly brings him back to optimal health, he has Droll split the group in teams of two. Bond and Meliodas find themselves working together, though they wait in great suspense as both Elizabeth and Elaine begin their match. Once it's over, the two themselves have a cakewalk, defeating a pair of blue demons, all while debating over whose girlfriend is better and not even noticing that the fight was really started because they were too distracted by their own literal waifu war. Anyway, once King and Deanne's matches are over, it's now fallen upon Escanor and Hawk to fight Jericho and Gother. The latter's attempt to control Lion's Sin fails, as he ends up using Merlin as his own son and rid his sword Sunshine power to attack Droll and Gloxinia. Taking advantage of this, Meliodas quickly rushes to attack the injured commandments. After injuring Droll quite grievously, the demon resorts to taking hostages out of his comrades, though this is ineffective as the Sin of Wrath removes the remaining two arms he has left in response. Controlling the tide of the battle for the majority, slicing through Droll's body and arms as well as manhandling Gloxinia, the former Fairy King's armor breaks after landing a blow on Meliodas. It was likely the battle would have ended in his favor up until the rest of the Ten Commandments arrive on the scene. Once on the scene, he has a quick standoff against Zeldris before attacking his younger brother with Lostbane, only to have his own arm cut off mid-swing. In retaliation, the Dragon Sin kicks the commandment away in order to retrieve his detached arm, only to be stopped by his brother once again. After being put under a spell by Greyroot, he retrieves and attaches his arm once more after a brief exchange with Zeldris, smashing the ground to create a smoke screen and escape, only to be barred from doing this. After being attacked by Darieri's combo star attack, his wrists are battered harshly, only to be praised for surviving and soon after attacked by Bonspeed. Emerging from the flames and slicing through the former's throat to no avail, he finds himself without his mark and hopelessly outgunned. After pleading for Dreyfus to fight for Adrin's control, the demon feigns as such only to attack Meliodas with Break. Gloxinia, being equally brutal in attacking with fascias, resulting in a large, powerful explosion that leaves the captain looking exhausted and once again with his arm blown off. Appearing to be defeated and scolded by Zeldris, Meliodas activates Revenge Counter, having gathered enough strength to frame the remaining commandments with the possibility of either death and or defeat. However, this is quickly dispelled thanks to Esterosa's commandment, and Meliodas is left powerless. Esterosa then goes on to antagonize his brother for how he betrayed them, wishing to hear him suffer more while he continued stepping on him. Meliodas mouthing something, though he seems to be unable to completely speak it. Then going in depth about how in the past, when Meliodas was the leader of the original 10 Commandments, he admired his strength and heartlessness, and he could have become the Demon King. Melascula then steps up, desiring to eat Meliodas' soul for herself, wanting payback for what transpired with Escanor and Bon. The Immortal himself shows up soon after this, snapping the demon's neck, removing her hearts and destroying them, effectively killing her. Despite his intentions, Meliodas, though, with a smile, reprimands Bon for jumping in so recklessly, with Bon remarking that idiots stick together. After being assisted to his feet, Bon is soon after thanked for killing Melascula, citing that he'd have done so himself had he not been trying to take his brother's very soul. Though the distance between them is cleared quickly, having stabbed Meliodas in one of his hearts before either Sin could react. Using an attack he calls Rebellion to summon 6 other swords, Esterosa explains that the upper echelons of the Demon Clan have 7 hearts, and once all of the demons' hearts are crushed, they die. Bon attempts to stop Esterosa, but he's ignored as Esterosa stabs one heart after another, finally killing Meliodas. Defensive battle for Leonis arc. 1 month after Meliodas' death, instead of moving on to the capital of the dead, Meliodas is lingering in Purgatory. There he discusses his fate and his past self with the Demon King. The Demon King states that he will feed on Meliodas' emotions to regain his lost power and to return Meliodas to his former personality. Meliodas refuses and attacks. When Meliodas finally returns to the living world, he finds that the 10 Commandments have been wreaking even more havoc. He saves Elizabeth just as Darieri was about to kill her, punching a large hole in her abdomen. He then apologizes to a crying Elizabeth for taking so long to come back. Darieri interrupts them by striking Hawk Mama after chaining several combo star attacks. Hawk tries to intervene but is kicked by Darieri. This provokes Meliodas, who grabs Darieri by the neck and smashes her into the ground, resetting her combos in the process. Meliodas starts to get relentlessly attacked, however, he effortlessly deflects all hits. He knocks her down, resetting the combo again. Darieri continues attacking Meliodas in vain. Meliodas states a quote that describes how his old self would have approached this current situation. Monspeed intervenes in the fight to aid his partner, shooting his technique, Kaijinryu, at Meliodas. But before the attack reaches him, he kicks Darieri into the air and uses full counter after activating his demon mark. The attack is reflected towards Monspeed and Darieri as well, seemingly destroying them. After that, Meliodas joins the fight against Fraudrin. Fraudrin battles Meliodas, but even with his gigantification ability, the Sin overpowers him with ease. Merlin realizes that he's using a clone, stating that his power level is now 60,000, and after activating his demon mark, it's even higher. Fraudrin exclaims surprised how Meliodas' power is similar to how he was in the past. He tries to attack, but Meliodas swiftly attacks Fraudrin, piercing multiple holes in his body. Severely injured, Fraudrin shrinks to his normal size. He says that he and the other commandments have been waiting to take revenge against Meliodas and the goddesses. Meliodas pats Fraudrin's face, but then rudely pushes him to the side. Bon feels that there's something off about the captain. Meliodas remarks how Fraudrin is not an actual commandment, but rather a substitute. Fraudrin talks back, saying that Meliodas casts aside the pride of the demon clan. Fraudrin then decides to wipe out Leonis by immolating himself. Meliodas gets bored and tells him that he should just hurry up and die. It's Griamore, though, that stops Fraudrin from self-destruction. Fraudrin, moved, surrenders and tells Meliodas to kill him. Meliodas mercilessly kills him without a moment's thought. Bon walks towards the captain, telling him that he's glad his partner isn't dead, and decides to have a toast later. Meliodas searches through the destroyed boar hat for food and beverages. Elizabeth finds Meliodas and eats with him. She states how Meliodas is a generous and gentle person. Meliodas tells Elizabeth how Bon was looking at him with an unrecognizable look. Then Meliodas starts to describe the giddy feeling he had when he killed Fraudrin. He starts to cry and admits that he's scared of turning into the way he used to be. He continues to say that he's not going to be able to save Elizabeth if he doesn't turn back to his old self. Elizabeth comforts Meliodas and declares that she'll never leave his side no matter what. Meliodas visits Merlin and Escanor where she's taking a bath. Bon asks where Meliodas was because they couldn't celebrate properly and then apologizing for not knowing what expression to make. Meliodas tells him that there's nothing to apologize for. Bon insults Meliodas' vacant look and he gets punched by Meliodas so that he would just shut up. Seems like everything's fine now. Kodan arc. To celebrate celebrate the boarhead being rebuilt and the reunion of the 7 deadly sins, Meliodas and the Sins have a drinking party. Meliodas drinks a whole barrel of some unspecified alcohol while Deanne cheers him on. When Merlin arrives, Meliodas notices something wrong with Merlin. With all the Sins in the room, they toast to the reunion. Deanne asks Gother how his creator ended the Holy War, and Meliodas and Merlin question that. However, Gother couldn't give a response. Meanwhile, Elizabeth keeps thinking about how there was Elizabeth with Meliodas 3,000 years ago and questions that. Meliodas comes out of nowhere and harasses